Phil,
Kenny?
you remember the old days when you guys would come in, but we just launched something with you, get it going, and then you come in and want to know how it's doing, where it was, and you have all this list of questions, and I give you the look of like, piss off because I don't have time to run around trying to figure all this stuff out. How many stores is it in? Well, it's supposed to be in this many, Phil. Kenny, I can't see it all in these stores. Phil, get your people, go and find out which stores it's in. Remember all those conversations where to get data on something just listed or just running, everything just took forever to get an answer. Everything.
And it was frustrating. All of it was frustrating because I'd be frustrated at you because you couldn't get me the answers I want. You'd be frustrated because you didn't understand why I just didn't throw more resources at this. But either way, neither of us ever got the answers that we ever wanted.
Exactly. Tons of paperwork, took forever. And by the time we got the data, who cared anyway? Well, you know what, Mr. Chang? Those days are over. Field Agent just launched Marketplace. You want to know what it is, Phil? Because I know you're dying to ask me. It's a self-serve platform where brands of any size can launch tasks on demand.
Okay. So I can test packaging, pricing. I check promotions to see if they're set up correctly.
All of it. And super quick. You can do it within minutes. And you can target by location, demographics. You can get photos, feedback. And the data is in one easy peasy, easy to read dashboard. Super, super easy. Best part, no minimums, no setup fees. You pay for the data you collect, and that's it.
Perfect for small brands that we talk to all the time, sales team, marketers, anyone who needs quick, real-world insights. I like
True data now, not in a week, not in a month. If you're so inclined on a Friday afternoon like we are now, and you wanted to probably start it tomorrow or Sunday, guess what? You can do it. None of this 15-year delay, and before you know it, the world's turned over 3 times. Incredible.
If you're interested, check it out at www.fieldagentcanada.com/marketplace.
Hey, welcome to This Commerce Life, an unscripted podcast that focuses on the stories behind small and independent Canadian retail and Canadian CPG.
What we try and do is deliver or pull out the story of our guests and give them to you. You know, the good, the bad, the ugly of retail and CPG in Canada. We're filling a need because we think that retail is hard on the best of days, but it's also a wonderful, wonderful place to grow up and make your living.
We also think that the industry, nor the people that inadvertently find themselves in the industry, really understand the industry at all. They don't really understand what goes on behind the scenes.
So listen to us, Phil and Kenny. We'll unravel it for you. We'll give you the story. We'll give you the story behind the story.
Like even Vancouver isn't as wet as I think he's getting more rain than we get now.
Is that right?
Like seriously.
No kidding. Morning, Phil. Hi.
Good morning. It's so nice to see you again.
So nice to see you.
We're definitely blaming you for a stupid 7 o'clock start.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not us.
Yep.
We've both determined that very clearly that it is not us.
I wasn't very smart. It'd be 10 o'clock in East Coast, but I happen to be on the West Coast. So like I'm paying for it the same way you guys are. So.
Well, yeah.
I kind of assumed it was one of those Toronto things, where you're just like, oh well, it's 10 a.m. for us.
It'll be fine. It'll be.
Who cares about those West Coast people?
It's
really you texted me last night. I'm yelling at you on the street, thinking, "What the fuck are we doing?" It could have 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. What happened?
I was surprised because I think I talked to your PR lady about it a long time ago, and we booked it a long time ago. And then I remember, I think a couple of days ago, I was like, "What time is it?"
Yeah, I did the same thing. I checked with her. I'm like, "Are you sure you put this in my calendar right? Did you mean did you get the time zone wrong?" I said, "Fine, I can do it."
Yeah. Well, because I was thinking, because we're out here at Basin in Nelson. And so I thought, okay, we're going to have to somewhere. I brought a speakerphone. I thought, Kenny and I'll just have to find a quiet place and then we'll go tuck ourselves in a corner somewhere so we can do this recording with you. Yeah. Then I'm looking at the time going, tuck myself in the corner. I'm still in bed. What the hell is...
Well, that's great. We were all equally surprised, and yet here we are.
And here we are. Yeah.
So what's going on with you? I hear you got some new shit going on.
You got some new stuff going on. You got
my mom is going to be so happy.
Oh, that's so great. I love, Kenny, that your mom has been such a vehement member supporter since we talked.
She really likes it. She really does. Because I think my dad's eating. They're eating a little bit more fish, right? I mean, and you know, I mean, he's 89 and 8. They're 89 and 82, right? So it's not a big deal for them to drive up to Famous Foods, or I think that's where they're picking it up. Or if I go get it, whatever. It's not the end of the world.
You should be eating more fish, no? Don't you have gout?
Okay,
Doesn't fish help with gout?
I eat my fish.
Just saying.
Okay. Jeez.
Sonia could use more business. I'm just saying, whatever your order is with her, maybe it should be double that size.
Double it, Kenny. Double it.
Love my fish. Love your fish.
I'm so glad, you know, and it's funny because before in prep for this, I thought, oh yeah, when did we talk? And in my mind, it was just last year, but it was 2 years ago.
You and I talked.
Well, yes, that's right. You and I had a chat in between
6 months ago, whatever it was, something like that.
That's right. Remember. But when the last time we got on a call, all of us, was 2 years ago. So then I got to thinking about, like what has happened in that 2 years, and it's a lot. Like a lot has changed. And you know, you were talking about your parents picking up at Famous Foods, which is great, and I pick up there, and it's wonderful. But another thing, one of the things big thing that's happened in that last 2 years is that we also introduced home delivery. And so,
that's very cool.
Yeah, and that's really like, we love the community partner program. Yeah. And for listeners who are just catching up, we love that people can, go in and pick up their fish at one of about 100, pickup locations across the country that are grocery stores and butcher shops and things. And we love that because it's a community as a point of contact in your community, right? And it also just really helps keep down those final mile delivery costs because, let's be honest, that's where the big costs are, is in getting, getting it to your city is one thing, but getting it from, some kind of a hub or warehouse to your door, that's the bigger cost. So we love the community partner program, but we also recognize that, like, for various accessibility reasons, not everyone can drive like your parents. I'm thrilled that they can still drive, but not everybody's going to be able to get to a grocery store if someone is unwell or various reasons. And it also just means, like, if you're out, just outside of a city and you'd be driving an hour in to get your fish, well, you can get home delivery now.
That's pretty cool.
That's really, really exciting. I mean, we're thrilled to have that. So, yeah.
How long have you had home delivery now?
So we launched it in Ontario and Quebec the end of 2024. Wow. And, as we do all things Skipper Otto, we like to try it out and make sure, iron out the kinks. We never want to launch something and overpromise and underperform, as they say, right? Like, it's always let's go careful. So, we were really concerned about things like, will orders stay frozen? Especially over the summer in Ontario and Quebec on people's doorsteps. How do we keep down the garbage? How do we keep waste down? How do we keep costs down? All those things. And so that experiment that's been going for, over a year in Ontario and Quebec has gone great. We have figured out all of those pieces. So now we've launched it. Just this year, we launched it in BC and Alberta. And so that's kind of where we have it so far. BC, Alberta, Ontario, Quebec. Again, just kind of rolling out the, making sure that it works everywhere. We're using dry ice, so people are getting it on their doorstep and it's staying frozen for, all day if they're not there to pick it up. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's a big deal.
Is a really big
we probably should go backwards a little bit because it's been a couple of years. Probably go back to, guests can, or, our listeners can go back and listen, but maybe a quick introduction, like who you are again, high level, what you do kind of thing. And then, I don't know, we'll go wherever you want to go on this one.
We'll go from there. That sounds great. Good. Well, my name is Sonia Strobel. Hi, everybody. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Skipper Otto, and we're a community-supported fishery. We're based here on the West Coast, Vancouver. We are a community or a collective of about 45 fishing families in several fishing regions in Canada. And us as a collective of fishing families are supported by about 8,000 home cooks who pre-purchase a share in the catch before we go fishing. And that guarantees us living wages, certainty about where our catch is going, and it guarantees you, the home cooks, that you're going to get the very best quality Fisher Direct, totally traceable seafood that's sustainable from Canadian fishing families to Canadian home cooks. And we've been doing that for 17 years now, if you can believe.
Wow.
Really? 17?
That long? Is that long? Oh.
17 years. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when we watched the CBC thing. It doesn't feel like it was I don't remember you saying it that long. I know Otto had been doing whatever he's been. That was a long time. I didn't realize this aspect of it. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. And it's great because it feels like, when we set out to do this, so like you said, Otto is my father-in-law. He started fishing in the 60s. And my husband, Sean, started fishing when he was 7. And so fishing's been in our family for many generations. Our oldest son now fishes in the summers as well. He's 17 and he commercial fishes. And that's how he's going to put himself through his post-secondary, is he's get like when we started Skipper Otto, I was sad that my son wouldn't potentially be able to grow up in a fishing family in the same tradition as his dad and his grandpa, because fishing is such a hard go and it's such a hard industry, and it's just gotten harder and harder for community-based fishers. So I'm super proud that we're here at this point. As soon as he turned 16, he got his own license. I'm not a kid fishing with his dad. I am a fisherman. That's really cool. So I'm proud because what we set out to do was to protect a fishing way of life in our family and in other families. And we started with just our fishing family, but the fact that we're doing that now for 45 plus fishing families in Canada and growing, that's really exciting to me. It's proving that our vision that you can do this differently. That it can be done differently, that you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have people fishing, continuing in a way of life that is their chosen community-based way of life. They can keep doing that and get paid living wages, and we can eat the best fish in the world and not break the bank. We can do both of those things. I think that's what we prove every day.
That's just crazy talk, Sonia. I don't even know what you're talking about. Can't be. Just can't be. No.
No, it's very cool. Very cool.
Thanks.
Very cool.
And now you're home delivering. Okay, so the last 2 years, so home delivery's really been around for about a year now, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. And then are you finding, are you still doing the retail partnership then? So do you still do that? So you can still go to the grocery store and get it, or you can have it delivered to your house. Got it.
Exactly. Yeah. You can choose, and there is a delivery fee just to encourage people to help with acknowledging there are real hard costs that come with getting it to your doorstep. So we have a delivery fee. It's waived in some areas for certain reasons. People can check that out on the website to see where there's delivery fees and where there isn't. But it continues to be free to pick up from your neighborhood community partner.
I kind of like it from the partner anyway, not for anything. You know what? Even if it kind of forces you to go in the store, which is good. There are community stores, which is great. So you can go grab you the lemons and some of the herbs and some of the veggies. You can do there's really nobody loses on any of it, right? I mean, it's good for the store too. If I go to Camsel, if I go to Famous Foods, I've got to grab some stuff. May as well grab it from there. They were nice enough to take, hold my fish.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so do you know what I mean? It's kind of, I kind of like it. I love the butcher shop idea too, because you get the fish in. I don't know. Just to me, the whole concept is, but you can tell, I use it. I really like it. I think it's a cool.
And I'm glad, and I think you've hit on it, Kenny. I really appreciate that you get that, because I think we live in a world where, and it's even more so every day with AI, where we can not talk to other people, right? Where we could just isolate ourselves, talk to robots only, and while that makes certain things in our lives maybe simpler or more efficient, it comes at a pretty steep cost to our mental health, not to connect with other human beings. And we're called a community supported fishery for a reason. We really believe, one of our top core values is connecting people, and that our modern world and our industrial systems purposefully break people apart, because actually when people don't talk to each other, you can get away with all kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Right? But when people talk to each other, the results are justice and equity and quality and all these kinds of things, right? Yeah. So I really believe the community part. I don't want that to go away. And I resisted home delivery for a long time because I thought, no, I want people to connect with one another. But like I say, I recognize that can be limiting for some people. And so from an equity perspective for access, I want to be sure that, yes, if you want to choose home delivery and you need that, great, that's there for you. But I really encourage people to be kind of conscious of the fact that when we walk out the front door and we walk into our local neighborhood grocery partner and we interact with people, we are all healthier. Our economy is healthier, our communities are healthier, mental health, so I think
everything's better. I think the home delivery is great. I am actually glad you are charging for it, because I do think people need to understand this bullshit Amazon world doesn't really exist, that someone has to pay for something That's not, there's no magical, poof, and it's here. Like there's costs for everything. And I do like it kind of, it will deter enough people to say, I'm not going to drop this. I'm not going to drop the fish. No big deal. It's not that bad to go to the grocer. I mean, come on, usually they're in the neighborhood. And honestly, I think it's important. I think you do. I think you need to support. You need to support the whole side of it, right? That, if you start doing that, I mean, AI sucks that way. Like I like talking to people, because you get in that stupid loop where you can't get an answer because it's
and it always tells you you're brilliant. AI is always like, great idea, Kenny.
How can I help you? You think, well, I've asked you 16 times. I don't know how to ask this any other way now, outside of before I come through the screen. Give me a person.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Do you find
It's 7 o'clock in the morning? Feel cranky. Cranky.
Do you find, and I don't know if this is, it's not. Do you find that stores that you deliver to, do they encourage their people to wind up, because some things we learn from you, and we've learned more and more on this, is like, it's not clear where our fish comes from, right? Like if you don't, and this is me not promoting Sonia. I think it's just a testament to what she does and others like her do. That's so amazing, right? Is you can pick up a fish, and there are 18 different ways that traditional cultures would go, you look for cloudy eyes, or you gotta smell it. You gotta look at the gills. You gotta look at like all these different things to try and figure out if your fish is fresh or not. But do you find that, like, with partners that you do pick up with, that they are selling maybe more of your fish and bringing in less of the other? Like, it's more a curiosity. I don't know if that's a question you can answer, or you certainly don't have a responsibility to any of that. I was curious, that's all, right? Because I feel like you're opening our eyes, so maybe you're opening the retailer's eyes to that as well.
Yeah, I don't have data on it, but I can certainly say anecdotally what we hear from some of our community partners. We have some community partners who have said, look, seafood was really hard for us anyway.
100%.
And so this is a relief, because we can just say, hey, yes, of course, we're going to carry a few products that we've, the community partners researched and they know, and they've done their best, but they can say, hey, you know what, Skipper Otto, like, let them do it. They're good at that part, because they also recognize that there are so many other upsides and benefits, like you say. Then that's what we hear from our community partners, is that our members are, like, I think, Kenny, you alluded to that. You walk in that store, you see it, and you're like, oh gosh, I've never been here before. And this stuff's really fresh, and this is really great. And I have a warm feeling towards this community partner store, because I know that they're acting in a way to try to build better food systems. So I think it just is that, like, rising tide floats all boats. So we don't hear from people. In fact, from one of our community partners that does do fresh seafood really well, we've heard them say that they sell more seafood now that they're a community partner. And that seemed counterintuitive to me. But when I talked with them about it, their hypothesis was, well, look, you're driving in these hundreds of seafood people, right? People who get seafood, they know what they're looking for, and they are going to get from Skipper Otto what they're going to get. And then there's going to be products that we're just not going to have, because we're not importing from other regions with products I'm not going to have. And they do carry them. And so a Skipper Otto shopper is going to go in, they're going to pick up their seafood. They're going to be like, oh, I actually want to make, mackerel, and Skipper Otto doesn't have that. We can't access that. And they're going to pick it up there. So I thought that was really interesting, that those community partners that can do seafood well actually end up selling more seafood.
Yeah, I feel like I would want that. I mean, you teach the consumer.
We lost Phil.
Oh, Phil's frozen.
Yeah, we lost Phil. We lost Phil yesterday too. Phil was not a good traveler yesterday. Phil was a stiff traveler yesterday. Made me stop 400 times to get to Nelson. So you were freezing on us, Phil. I think like, even now your computer's consistent with you. Like, I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it's
all these stops.
Usually I'm a really steady travel partner. Yesterday was not that good. I made one bad choice, and it was like,
pay for it.
It only killed about 3 hours of the trip, 4 hours of the trip. So I don't know how you made it.
Okay. Anyway, we lost you, Phil. We lost you at about.
Yeah, you lost your thought.
You said, like, You teach people something and then we lost you.
Oh yeah, I think well, so before I freeze again, I think what you do is something that your retail partners can't do and don't know how to do. Like, it's also not their responsibility to do it, is to teach people what good fish looks like.
No.
Right.
And it's also not their fault that they can't necessarily access, that's hard. That's not their fault. It's not that they're not working hard. They work incredibly hard, and they're doing incredible service. But it's just, I think seafood is unique. Seafood is especially challenging. And that's what we specialize in. We are fish harvesters, and we can do that well, and we can do it right. And that's no light lift. That is a hard thing to do well. And we do it well. So, and I think that's that recognition of the collaboration with the community partner, is to say, we're not trying to put grocery out of business. We're not trying to, we believe that this has to be a partnership, that we all have to just see what the problem is and then find a way to solve those problems.
Yeah.
I like it.
I just also think it's also incumbent on, like, I think, I'll pick on Cam because I would tell Cam to his face anyway. I mean, like, even when I pick up the fish, like, to me, if I was them, I would be attaching, I literally would be attaching either recipes to it, or I'd be after you and saying, listen, I need you to put something. I'm not going to do this to you, but I'm going to do it to you anyway. Who cares? I would put like something on the package saying, here's a recipe, here's the list, so that I'm forced to shop. Or I would like Cam to say, listen, here's a set of coupons. I don't care if it's coupons, whatever it is, like something that forces me. Like, don't just do the service, pick up and leave. Like, force me to do something because it's good for the community. Because the beauty, it's not just your community. That's great. You got your community as well. But when it hits my community, I love the fact that my community store is benefiting, because there's community kids who work in that store, nor different community kids working on the boats. It's all the community thing. So it's really trying to make sure that we cinch it all up.
Yeah,
because you don't want the last part to be just grab and go. I mean, that's fine. That's and the retailer is obviously aware of that and let them do. But I would, if I'm the retailer, I'd be thinking, I'll do this, but I want something out of this too. So I'm going to work maybe harder with you and saying, listen, give me some cool recipes or help me. Like, there's got to be something to do to force us to do something in that store.
Well, and we have done that. We've done that with some community partners, and we always offer it. We say, listen, we can do recipes, we could do something attached, we can put something in the bag and do a coupon. And we have had some community partners take us up on it. I recognize that grocery retailers are incredibly busy. Like, they're
tough gig.
And, anytime you go in that store, there's trucks coming, going. There's just and they're often like, yes, that's a great idea. That's like down here on the priorities. We'll get to it, because when they look around, most people stop and shop anyway. So
as long as you're doing that, like, I just want, that's the only worry. It's a worry. It's kind of a worry, because you want it to be all the way through community supported, like right to the end. You think, and then that's super, super successful. That's cool.
Yeah. Well,
right. Because then we've got people just doing local, literally all the way through the pipeline.
Well, I think the proof in the pudding is that community partners don't leave. Once they join,
it's working for them too.
Yeah, it's so rare that they drop us. And if we ever drop a community partner, it's usually because something has happened. They've lost some freezer space. They can no longer functionally do it. They're moving locations. Things like that happen, right? And so those kinds of things happen. But I can't think of an instance where, they're like, this isn't working because people aren't shopping. It's working.
That's cool.
Because I think when you look in people's eyes, when you have a personal relationship connection, you think those things. You're like, this is actually a really lovely store, and this is actually great they're doing this, and actually this is pretty close to my house, and this is pretty convenient. Like, it's a natural thing that happens. That's what I love about it.
No, that's good. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah. So that was so home delivery and community partners. I mean, that's we've continued to kind of grow on both sides of that.
Listen, it's been a couple of years. Is that all you've done? Like, that's it?
Right? I'm like, well, I mean, this is it.
Well, you and I were talking about other things. I don't know, like, because you had a bunch of ideas. Like, you were, what else is?
Well, you know me. I mean, I'm a big ideas person. I'm always thinking about, vision, right? I'm always thinking about, like, how should the world actually be? And so as it relates to Skipper Otto, like, we started here in BC with BC fishing families. When we spoke last time, we already had fishing families in Nunavut. So that's part of the vision. Is like, well, wait a second. this should be for all Canadians by all Canadians. It should be every fishing region in the country. And so that's something exciting that's come on board in the last couple of years too, is that we now have fishermen in northern Saskatchewan.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty cool.
Phil, for people who like their lake fish, so
Yeah.
pickerel or walleye, they call it, and pike,
Yeah.
we have these beautiful,
Trout.
Northern lake
Yeah.
caught ice fish, caught beautiful fish from a Métis Cree Nation in northern Saskatchewan. And they reached out to us. We heard, through, this is actually kind of a cool story, through community partners, through one of our community partners who knew them, who then, he's retired from that community partner, but he called me up, said, I know this nation, and, so he connected us. So again, it's just community, right? And so we had some long chats. They came out here for a visit. We've been working together on all kinds of things, but we're able to carry their fish here. They have a small plant in their community so that they can do the CFIA plant where they can do the flash freezing and the filleting and everything right there in the facility. And that's been amazing, I think. And people are super excited about the idea that, where else does fish come from in this country? And that we should be able to access that.
So can I order from them? Like, is it on the site?
It is. It's on the site. It'll be coming this winter. So it's
I don't remember seeing like pike or trout. Like, I mean, I'm not on every 15 minutes, but I don't remember seeing. That's a problem with you too. Like sometimes it's on and then it's off. I went for the char. I said, I don't need it right now. And then I went back. There's no other char.
Oh, no, that's the thing. I mean, so I'll tell you, since we're coming into the winter now, pay attention. So we're going to have Arctic char.
Well, my mom and I were both saying the same. She goes, why didn't you buy it? I said, I didn't think we had 15 minutes.
Listen, sense of urgency, man. Like, come on.
It was like 4 months. Okay, to be fair.
Didn't feel like 4 months to me. I got one order, I think, out of it, maybe two.
Well, this time you're going to just have to stock up. That's the thing.
I think I need more warnings for my friends at Skipper Otto.
I think double your order. I think that's the only answer. Kenny.
I need personal emails. Ken, did you buy?
Yeah.
Text messages. We're going to nudge you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's really
Yeah.
exciting. Having more products, I think, is really exciting. Yeah.
Wait. So tell us. You started saying what comes in the winter. So what comes in the winter?
Yeah, so what are we looking for, or what are we going to be able to get?
Yeah. So we'll be soon having the Arctic char, and then we'll soon have pike, northern pike. And we'll also have what's called pickerel or walleye. It's the same thing. So
walleye, I've never had pike. Like,
I actually didn't know that pickerel and walleye were the same thing because we call it.
Neither did
I. But I had walleye and went, it tastes like pickerel, and somebody said, yeah, it's the same thing, you dummy. And I was like, I didn't know that. So
yeah, it's the same thing, and it's so good. And I have to confess to being a coastal girl, so I didn't really know pickerel from walleye from pike, any of that. So it's been an education, and it is such good, beautiful.
Lake fish is different, though. I'm really excited about that. That's
it's really different. Like being from Ontario and not like we do get we get nothing but lake, right? And it's a little bit more delicate, right? Us freshwater people are a little bit more delicate. We don't have the same.
That's so hardy, yeah.
Definitely not on the open sea, definitely not so hardy. So, but it's just a different flavor, but that's really exciting.
Is that something you're looking at opening up, like, even in, our province, or I guess Alberta, like, because there's tons of, I think you were talking about some different, fishing even north of BC. Like there was something not on the coast.
Yeah. I mean, that's, the Arctic char, interestingly, char is such an interesting fish because they are lake caught in the winter, ice fished. And those Arctic char, they're fascinating because they're kind of like salmon. They're kind of like trout.
Salmon. They're better.
Yeah, they're better. They're
boring, just salmon fish.
Yes.
Salmon.
I love them too. But the char are fascinating because they actually go out to the ocean and back to the lake every year. So not like a salmon that, goes out of the river, lives its life, and then it comes back to the river at the end of its life. So the char are coming back up the rivers into the lakes in the wintertime. And that's when our fish harvesters they are, augering these huge holes, 2 big holes. The net goes down one and then up the other. And so they are gill netting these fish in the ice. Fantastic. They come out of the water and they freeze in the air, on the way down because it's like -40. Talk about flash freezing, like incredible, right?
Oh, I didn't, but even like the food aspects, because they're getting ocean food.
Yes.
And they're eating fresh, like that's why they probably taste a little different, I guess, right? Because it is honestly, like for people who haven't had it, like It looks like salmon. It's the same. But there's something different about it. It actually, I mean, I hate to say because I like, our salmon fishery is so important on our coast. I really like the Arctic char.
I love it too, and
really
all of our Inuit fishermen say that they can taste the difference from lake to lake. And they all say very proud, and they'll say, well, this fish, this is the special one, or this, and I think you're right. It's because they are eating marine creatures, and then they are eating freshwater. And so most of the Arctic char that you can get, if you go to, most places, if you do see Arctic char, it's farmed. So there isn't really a big commercial access to Arctic char. And that's also one of the things we're excited about, is that by doing this, we do the data collection for the DFO. A lot of these are early experimental fisheries. They require years of data collection to be able to say, okay, this is the size of the stock and here's how much we can fish. And so by having that Arctic char for our members, it's not just that you're getting this amazing fish to eat that tastes so different from a farmed Arctic char and it's wonderful, but all of that, you're also helping create commercial fisheries access and job opportunities in the north by helping open up these commercial fisheries.
No, I really like that.
Got it. Oh, that's even.
So now we're talking about. So are you planning, like, even in BC, like, are we talking like potentially like lake trout or brook trouts or creek trouts, or
that's what we do, is we start to say, okay, well, where is there commercial fishing? Where is there
be commercial fishing
that we can access, right? And in some cases, some of that lake trout is only a recreational fishery, and there is commercial fish, so we can't touch that. But that's what we do all across the country. Is I am always in contact with different fishing communities and researching and reaching out and saying who's fishing what in this country. And in so many cases, I've been talking we haven't even talked about tariffs, but over the sort of tariff time, I've been talking with fishers in all these different communities where they're almost in 100% export to the U.S. So some of the Ontario lake fisheries, their markets are all in the U.S. And there's just such nerves right now about tariffs. Are we going to lose our markets? Where else is this going to go? And so I think this is also just such an important time for all of us. We are all already doing it with saying, okay, buy Canadian. Walking down those grocery aisles, looking for the maple leafs, saying, what do we produce here in Canada and how can we support our communities? Well, we've been doing that at Skipper Otto for 17 years. And so fishing families are coming out of the woodwork all across the country, reaching out to us and saying, we like what you do. How can we be part of that? And I think that's really exciting. This is an opportunity in this time for us to shift how we do things a little bit.
Yeah, it's really, I think that's really cool. And then I love this freshwater idea.
I'm liking the freshwater idea too. I think this really opens up a whole different world.
Can we shift to tariffs? Like, because I think I have to say that, like, on my side, like, we've spent a lot of time looking at tariffs, but more for packaged goods companies. That's where Kenny and I spend a chunk of time. So it's not. I don't really understand how that hits your industry or even in Ontario. I know there are a lot of fisheries that ship this stuff to the US, but I don't know how it affects them. Kind of hoping that the crazy guy down there actually likes fish, and it might be that simple that he likes fish, so we don't get a tariff.
I'd love to think it was that. I don't think it is. I think it's that under the current standing, CUSMA or USMCA, whatever you like to call it. Seafood is exempt in that. So I almost even don't want to jinx it by saying that out loud. Okay. But currently there aren't the US, like, we're not experiencing that with just raw seafood exchanging. However, we do have some pretty steep tariffs in China on seafood, Canadian seafood. And
that sounded like the last couple days, like maybe we're kind of calming down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know we heard the Chinese government announce that group tours from China can come to Canada again. So there is a sort of a warming, if you will. So, maybe those things will soften there. But I know that those tariffs have really hit hard, like the crab industry, for example, because here in BC, the Dungeness crab, especially around Lunar New Year, massive market in China. And that's really hurt. That's really driven up prices. Yeah. It's really created anxiety in those fisheries about where are we going to go. And I would say that that's the kind of word of the year is anxiety, right? Is that there's so much uncertainty. So even if we're not being stung today with a tariff, it could happen we all know like that there's no rhyme or reason. These things can just change. So there's lots of nerves about that. And I think it's just exposed. I'm sure you've seen that in CPG as well. It's just, that's kind of exposed the vulnerabilities in our industry, right? Is that how vulnerable are we if we rely so heavily on one or two, kind of big export customer audiences? We're really
put everything in one basket. I'm sorry to tell you this. What we got is what we
you reap what you sow, as they say, right?
Well, seriously, that's not that. That's what we. Because it's easy. Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah.
And it was such a nice partnership.
Yeah, and it's a very big market. When you look at the population in the US, we're right there. So, it's totally understandable why that has been a focus for us. But I think we just have to not always take the easy route, and in those, because then we get left holding the bag. So I think it's important to think about diverse markets, and I think that's what a lot of our fishing communities in Canada are doing now. Is they're thinking, okay, yeah, what would it look like to sell more of our products into Canada? Recognizing that a wholesale shift, 100% of Canadian seafood being sold in Canada, pretty difficult. We harvest a lot of seafood in Canada, and we don't have that huge a population. So I'm not saying that, I'm not naive saying, well, we can eat it all here. It's not true, of course. But if we're exporting 90% of the seafood we catch here, and if what we're eating is 80% imported, there's a lot of wiggle room in there for us to do a better job of keeping our products within the country, and therefore keeping the value. And it's not just the dollars, but it's all those community values you're talking about too, Kenny, with people who have jobs, and whether they're on fish boats, shoreside businesses, the distribution, the grocery stores. We know that when we keep dollars in community, they recirculate on average 8 times. So $1 million in one community is $8 million by the time it's recirculated. Whereas when we just take $1 million worth of fish and we ship it out, it's just it's gone.
That's it. Yeah. Wow. It's inspiring to talk to you.
Oh, thanks.
It really is. Inspire me one more time. So just personal inspiration now, because I have to finish this order. What do I do with lingcod cheeks?
Oh gosh, Kenny, if you get your hands on some lingcod cheeks, that's gold. I love lingcod cheeks. For every lingcod, you've only got 2 cheeks, so there's not that many of them out there. So you snap them up when they're in the store. I love them. I use them in, one of my favorite things to do is in pasta, the way you would use scallops, or in a sort of Alfredo or clams or something like that. So lingcod cheeks are almost like a little chicken breast, right? And so you can, when you get the really small ones, you can do them whole. You can kind of cut them in half, but they cook so fast. So you do a pasta, you do it in that sauce.
So right toward the end of the pasta.
Right towards the end, you just toss that in there. I just love it. Yeah.
So just like a vongole. You're not supposed to do cream and any fish and all the stupid Italian rules. So like even just like an oil and garlic type of sauce, like toward the end, I could just plop it in. Because I would do that with like a dried, like bacala, like the dried cod.
Yeah, absolutely. You can absolutely do that with an olive oil, garlic, like a little bit of lemon for some brightness in there. And then you just can toss those cheeks in at the end. If they're really thick, you might want to cut them, I was
going to say, you could probably cut these up because they look like they're odd sizes.
Yeah, that's right. Depending on the size of the fish, right? So, and that's the other thing I love about it is that we don't pretend that they came out of a factory. They don't. Some of them are bigger, some are smaller. So, yeah.
Okay. You can go back to regular programming. I'll finish this order.
Are you seeing fishing trends that consumers need to know about? Like, because last time we talked about because we can only order what you can fish, right? And then there are some, kind of species that they go up, they go down, and then we want this and we can't get it because you're not allowed to fish them. Are you seeing anything that we need to? I'm sure you are. I'm sure there's lots of things that we need to know.
So many things I see, but what can I tell you about? Well, I think an interesting example of that is with salmon and the variability of salmon species from year to year. And we all know, or those of us on the West Coast know anyway, I don't know how much salmon education you get in Ontario, but there are 5 species of wild Pacific salmon. Some of them spawn every 2 years, some every 4 years. And they will have kind of bumper years, they'll have big years, and then they'll have smaller years. And every river is different. And there are thousands of rivers, right, on this coast. And so when you understand that, you understand that you can't look at the whole coast and just say, are sockeye salmon doing well or poorly? It's fishery by fishery, and it's season to season, year to year.
Right.
So one of the things that the community supported fishery model asks the consumer to do is to eat with the ecosystem. And that means that you're not going to say, I want to only eat sockeye salmon and I want it on a Thursday in February. You're acknowledging that there's a season for it. There are some big years, there are some smaller years. And so that means that you're going to be able to place an order for what's abundant. It doesn't mean that you're just going to get an option for a bunch of weird stuff you've never heard of, right? It means that some years there might be more coho, and that's going to be in the store for longer. When you go into the store in December, some years you're going to see that the sockeye, it's not much sockeye left in the store, but there's lots of coho, for example. And that's a really important part of the model, is that we're asking people to just understand there are cycles. You eat what's abundant, you eat what's plentiful. And
I still like my Arctic char more frequently, just so we're very clear on this one.
Gonna have to stop that, Kenny. The lakes are only frozen for so long.
I'm just throwing it in there. Like, I'm just
If
thinking
you
we
eat
need
a lot of Arctic char, you're not leaving enough for everybody else.
we can talk to
just
the
saying.
salmon one. I'm okay with. Like, I can do that, but I think we really need to fix this Arctic char thing.
Well, and I'll tell you, Kenny, we can get more Arctic char. There are so many Inuit harvesters who want to bring it down, and if we see the orders going up, but the thing is that we have to plan for it, right? So it's this time of year that we're saying, how much do we need? Then they're going out, they're harvesting it, we're getting it down, it goes up to the
Well,
members.
I just topped up, my dear. I just put my order in and I topped up the account, so there's a little bit of cash in there. So let's go.
Good man, let's go. Let's get that Arctic char.
That char into the stores. I don't know what we're waiting for. A lot of talking, not much char yet.
Go get it. Why are you still on this call, Sonia? Go get some char.
That's what I was saying, but you were a little bit more direct. I was kind of getting you there. Let's go.
Tomorrow, all your
But I
fishermen
wanna
are
go
gonna be like, what is the deal with this Arctic char? How much do you need exactly? Like, what's happening?
You know what though? Hey, baby, this spawns a whole thing. Now they're gonna have to get a little pressure to let's go.
Let's up the ante here. Exactly. That's right. But I wanted to go back to that, Phil, your question, because about the seasonality or like the what's available kind of thing. Yeah. And so what I love though is that our members get it. And so they're like, oh yeah, like there's Arctic char, and then there is an Arctic char, and now there's salmon, so they're going to order, right? And they know that what they want to do is they want to eat, sustainable, local, Fisher Direct, best quality, delicious, best price, seafood. They want all of that. And so they're going to put their money in and they're going to eat what comes. And sometimes I get asked, oh, do you sell, to restaurants? Do you sell to, institutional buyers? Do you do wholesale? And for the most part, we haven't done that because we are asking everyone in our community to act a little differently, whether that's fish harvesters or the community partners or the consumers. It's just act a little differently and we can have a better outcome, right? So what I am excited to tell you is that one of our new members is UBC. And so UBC, I think, is a fantastic leader in demonstrating how an institutional buyer can act a little differently and have these incredible outcomes too. And so they're now carrying Skipper Otto salmon in one of their residences. And so it's beautiful. When they have those TVs that show the, up in the cafeteria that kind of show them what you're having today. So they've got our fishermen on there. And they're saying today's salmon was caught by, less.
That's pretty cool.
It's great. And so
personal touch.
It's really, I think it's fantastic. But again, UBC is modeling how you can act just a little bit differently. So what they do with us is before the season, they sit down. This is what we need. We need to sit down and talk about how much fish do you need? How much salmon do you need? And then we can harvest for that need.
Right.
And what happened this year is a great example of it. We thought that, we would have these two species of salmon. We thought we would have more coho and chum. We thought we would have. And then those ended up not being really big volume fisheries this year. But as you probably heard, sockeye numbers were really high this year. So we could come back to them and say, okay, actually, we've got more sockeye. Does that work for you? Sure, that's great. So they're able to pivot within salmon species.
Right.
Say, sure, we will eat with the ecosystem. And that way we'll monitor every year. We'll say, this is how much salmon we want. What do you think you can do? And then obviously in season, we can kind of pivot. Right. And then the other thing they've done is just found really neat ways to reduce packaging to almost zero packaging. So we're doing whole flash frozen dipped whole fish, and they're breaking down the whole fish themselves at UBC for food service. And that means that they can take advantage of the whole carcass. They can use it for making stocks and all those other things. And so they're actually getting a really high volume value out of that fish because they're taking the whole thing as opposed to having it processed elsewhere. And then we don't need to put it in plastic. So when you flash freeze a whole fish, you can dip it in, you blast freeze, dip, blast freeze. So it's glazed. And so there's no plastic. So it's just going into one piece of plastic that lines the cardboard box, but you've got all those whole fish in there. So we're reducing packaging, we're reducing food waste. They're getting higher yield because they're taking the whole fish and they're using it to make chowders and stocks and things like that, as opposed to just, we all just want this, like, 4-ounce piece of fish on a plate. So I just want to shout out there to UBC as being like an innovator in that space and partnering with a community supported fishery to say, how can we be part of a community and support harvesters and have all these great outcomes? And that's I think it's fantastic. I'm really excited about that. So that's another thing that's happened since we talked last.
Yeah, you'd actually think that, like, folks that have culinary schools would all be thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I'm not a chef. I like to cook, but I'm not a chef. But you'd think that being able to get the whole animal or the whole fish allows you to, because when you're in a restaurant, that's what you have to do, right? Is maximize what you buy, what you can do with them, right? So
that's when I saw the crab on there. Like, I thought, okay, the crab might be kind of cool, because I wonder if you can't do maybe institutional food service, and I don't think you even want to. Like, I mean, but I think it would be cool to partner with we got so many cool chefs in this country. It's Lower Mainland for sure. Like, there's so many cool chefs. A restaurant it's really not much different than supporting, like, me at the house. I mean, you're going to cook for a few more plates, but and chefs are good that way. What do they buy? Well, they buy what's available.
Yeah.
It's not available. It's just not available. They just do something else. But the better ones will just do something else.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. And I think where there are still lots of chefs like this and lots of restaurants like this where they operate this way and they have that flexibility. But there's also those that have moved toward this kind of lower skilled institutional model, which is like, we're going to hire lower skilled cooks who can only just cut the top off a package and slide a piece of fish onto a grill. Right. And that comes at a cost. There are costs of that. Yes, you may be paying less for that labor, you may be paying less in wages, but there's an environmental cost, to all the plastic, and you're losing out on all of the other benefits of that whole fish. It's not going to necessarily be as high quality because you may not know how long ago it was filleted and things like that. In the case of Skipper Otto, you do know, but in a lot of cases you don't. So, I think it's almost like a philosophical difference, right? It's like, how do you think about money saving in your industry? And do you think of it as like, it seems like it's cheap right here in the short term, but is there a long-term consequence of that?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so that's been another kind of exciting thing that we've, kind of branched out a little bit this year, having a larger institutional partner like that works the way we do, that shares the values that we have. So I'm kind of excited about that. Like, as you say, Kenny, I'm not excited about twisting myself into knots to try to make Skipper Otto fit a model that it doesn't fit. I'm not interested, but I am interested in partners who come to us and say, hey, we also want to think a little differently and see what other outcomes we can have. And that to me is super exciting.
That's the point of it. That's why I think the university is kind of cool, because there's clearly it's a lot of younger people that are going to go there because you're leaving high school, but they're the ones that are, listen, the mess that's been created is, I hate to tell you the cleanup crew is, but just so they're clear, it's them.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys.
You know what I mean? Like, they have to be the ones that push this now and help, define where this next bit's going to go. And
absolutely. Yeah, and universities are spaces of that kind of critical thinking and big ideas and forward looking. So I love that, Chef David Spite at UBC has hosted some events where I've come out as well. And he's just such an advocate for this too. And he says this too, that, like, universities are a place where we have to be cutting edge and leading our thinking. We have to be, because
that's the point of them.
That's the point.
In theory, that's what they're supposed to do. So let's do it.
So nowhere better than a university to be having these, put your money where your mouth is and actually show how we can act a little differently. So I think that's super exciting. Yeah.
I want to go back to one thing, talking about not fitting yourself into models or tying yourself into knots. I think I've been doing this more lately, but I think it's a compliment. I think if you're a listener, what that's the sign of is someone who understands their brand and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then, you know, having a guiding light and a fundamental belief in what you do. I think that's what makes talking to you always such a joy, because you know where you're going. And, you know, all things be damned, is if you guys aren't going that way, I'm going that way anyway.
I like
you know,
that
so
too.
if you're a brand, it's just like when folks have a vision, they kind of just go, we're going that way. And then everyone goes, oh, cool. And then afterwards, what you've got to like stop and go, you know, that's ultimate focus, right? Like you've decided like we're going this way. And if there's no model, we'll just build one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly it. And I think it does take a certain, I don't know what it is, but a certain tenacity to just say, and in our case, it's really about values and the vision about what kind of world are we trying to create. And so we just ask ourselves all the time is, would doing that thing advance us to this vision of the world we're trying to create? And the answer is no, we just don't do it.
Yeah, if it fits, it fits. If it doesn't,
but you know what it is, to Phil's point, what a lot of brands will do is they'll try to bend to fit. And you're thinking, but when you bend to fit, you basically are sacrificing, in essence, the whole point of what you were trying to, like, why pay attention to what you're doing. Like, and if it starts to go off brand, off vision, like, why are you doing it then? Like,
and why are you doing it? And then we all just slide into the middle and we're all doing the same thing. Then
we're in the same spot that we just were. And what better? Well, really nothing, because we just conform back to what we were trying to fix, like that. So now you're,
well, you know, Skipper Otto, if you rewind this 19 years you've been in business?
17 years,
17 years. Like you rewind that 17 years, and if you were bending and tying it in knots, you'd probably be canning still.
Well, Well, and who knows if we'd even be around.
If you'd even be fishing still.
No, well, either you'd be canning or you wouldn't be fishing anymore.
Yeah, seriously.
Right?
That's exactly. Yeah. But you're totally right. I mean, I think that's the thing, is that because we have been super clear about what we are, and we don't try to be all things to all people, and you have to celebrate the no. I had an early mentor who told me that, celebrate the no, because every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else indirectly. So be really clear what you do want to say yes to, get laser focused and good at what you're good at. And that's what we've done, is really focus on the kind of outcomes. What are we trying to create? And this is something I think hadn't happened when we talked last time, but we actually went through the process to get certified as a B Corp. And I think when we talked last, I think that happened after we talked last time. And
no, you hadn't had that the last time we talked.
Yeah, so we actually, when we got our first certification, we became the highest certified B Corp seafood company in North America, second in the world, just for our first certification. Yeah.
Wow.
And I'm super proud of that, because when you recertify B Corp, the great thing about B Corp is you're like, oh, right, there's another thing we could do there. And we could improve here. And that's the point of it, is continuous improvement. Your first certification is really just an audit of where are you right now. And so the fact that we scored that high for our first certification, I'm super proud. It's a recognition that I always knew we were doing good things, but you don't have to take my word for it now. Now they've actually audited it to see if the outcomes are actually real.
They'll give you a sticker. Now you have a sticker that validates that you're.
You got a happy face or a star. Good for you.
I want a gold star. Exactly.
Yeah. That's actually pretty cool too. That's awesome.
Thanks.
That's awesome. Anyway, what you do is fantastic. I mean, like, honestly, we all, because I'm not that shopper, and I shop with you guys. I mean, I just really like the quality of the product. I love what you do. I love what you're trying to do. And then I feel like I'm doing my little part.
Well, yeah, and you are. And that's the thing, is that, I think you can sign petitions and you can do your part, and it can be exhausting, and it can be great, and it can also be exhausting. But if you just shop at Skipper Otto, you're actually doing all of that good, and you just had to buy great fish. So it's like,
there's really no loss in this one. Like, it's pretty easy peasy.
My middle kid, who's allergic to fish, is starting to spend more time away from home.
Thank God. I feel
we've got the one eye on the when can we order button. So
fantastic. But we'll be here when you're ready, Phil.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. We're like, oh my gosh, it's so cool.
Oh, it's all good, man.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for doing it so early in the morning. I appreciate you, and then really, this is amazing. You should, anytime you want to come on, you can
come anytime. Just whatever.
Your PR person actually has the link, so you just tell her to use it with impunity. It's all good.
Oh, that's very sweet. Well, we'll do that, and I'll reach out when we've got new things coming down the pipe. And
just tell us when something cool's happening, or if you want to, I don't know, whatever.
You tell us when Kenny's eaten all the Arctic char and we've run out.
That's
I,
right.
I feel like that's what's going to
I just
happen. You'll
ordered
be
the
like,
ling cod
stop
cheeks.
ordering,
Now I'm
stop ordering.
curious.
We can't get more. It's all in Kenny's freezer.
That's right.
So just go to
Or my
Kenny's house.
mom's.
Like,
My mom's waiting too. Like there's a little lineup now.
I love it. Well, now she knows you just got to stock up this winter to get.
Well, I'm going to try the cheeks. I ordered them. I just put the order through. So the next 2 weekends I can't pick up. So I had to move to the end of the month. But I'm going to try the cheeks and then I'll let her know as well because, I'm just tired of prawns. I don't want to do always prawns or bacala. Like, and I don't know how to do the fresh fish, but I'm curious about I kept looking at them.
Well, give those a try, and then just keep your eye on the store because there's a lot of I won't give away any secrets, but there's other things coming down the pipe in the year ahead. So keep your eye on the store because we have lots of.
You can't do that. That wasn't. No. You got to give us a
I
little bit more than
I can just sprinkle that in there and make you wait.
Easy. I'm waiting for the lake trout that I heard is coming, so I just wanted to see what else is coming. I want something.
Pickerel. The pickerel's like it's so good. We love it. We love it. It's one of our.
That's gonna be cool. That's really cool. That's awesome. I'm just super happy you're going in to other spots. That's really neat.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, no, it's super exciting. It's been a busy couple of years since we last talked, but it feels great. It feels like, also being a more mature company, we have like an amazing team of people in their roles doing incredible work. So that all the growth doesn't mean it's all on my head. It's not. It's just an incredibly efficient and well-oiled team that is aligned on the values and the vision, and it's a great place to be. I love it.
It's awesome. I love it. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this.
Well, thanks so much for having me and for being a great supporter.
Anytime.
Awesome. Well, let's keep in touch for sure,
yes,
and we'll reach out when we've got.
Well, one of these times when he comes to the West, because he's the West Coast more and more all the time, is we do want to come to see you or see something more. Like I like to get closer to the water just to see.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do that? Hey, next time, Phil, when you're in town, why don't you just let me know, and then you could come down to the Fisherman's Wharf, and I can show you kind of all the operations there and where our packaging works, and you can see the freezers and all that. And then if you're coming when the boat's not out fishing, our boat's there at the Fisherman's Wharf through the kind of from maybe like September, this time through till June, May. Yeah. So if you come in that time, come on down and we'll give you a tour around. I think
Fisherman's Wharf where?
False Creek Fisherman's Wharf, right next to Granville Island.
Downtown False Creek?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I can't believe you haven't come to see us there. I think we're so lucky living in Vancouver and still having a working fishing waterfront there. And you can come down and you can see all the boats.
I didn't know you were down. I didn't know you were downtown.
We
haven't come there. I don't think we had an invite. So how's that?
Here's your invite now.
Well, okay then.
You are hereby invited. Come on down, we'll have a coffee, we'll walk along the waterfront, we get some fish tacos down there. It's great.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
I would love that.
I honestly I didn't know you were in False Creek.
And that's great. We're right there. We've got our offices on West 4th, so we're just like a 10-minute walk from the waterfront operations to the office. So just come and I'll give you the grand tour.
Love to do that.
Love it.
Okay, there you go. That's our next. That's Phil's next visit.
Awesome. Well, I will nudge you. That'll be great.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Well, enjoy the Kootenays. Have a great time out there.
It'd be fun.
I'm excited. It's nice to be here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
You go finish your day or start your day or whatever time of day. It's not even 8 o'clock. My God, honestly.
It's great. We got the whole day ahead of us now.
Well, this is like a day's work. You could just take the rest of the day off now.
Yeah, just go relax for a little bit. Have a coffee.
What do you do? Like, because the phrase is take the day off, go fishing, but you actually fish. So do you?
What do you do? Take the day off, go shopping? Take the day off, go
and not go fishing? Like, what is the?
The funny thing is, like, when it's not fishing season, we take the boat out for fun, right? Because it's so beautiful. Like when the boat comes back, like when it came back this year, in September, brought it back from the fishing grounds, and then we just took the boat and we ran around to like Kate's Park in North Vancouver.
That's nice.
And then you just go up on the shore and take a little hike around and then go and we cook dinner on the boat, watch the sunset, and run the boat back and listen to some music with the kids. Like it feels like the end of the fishing season is the time we get to just relax on the boat and enjoy being we enjoy being out there always, but when the fish are coming and you're working hard and it's around the clock and there's
it's nice not to do anything, just enjoy being on the water.
Exactly.
So take the day off and the boat out.
Yeah, take the day off and go sit on the boat. And
The mended phrase.
Whatever works.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
We'll go do that.
I will.
Sonia, enjoy your day. Phil, you
Yeah.
hang around.
Yeah, great. Thanks,
Bye.
guys.
Thanks, Sonia.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Cool stuff, man. And I did. I put my order through, like while we were on the
Smart
thing.
lady. She's a smart lady.
It's good. You know what? It's all of
And
it.
she's
It's
doing cool things.
It's cool things. It's
Yeah.
good. It's good product though too.
Yeah.
And when you do buy it, you're going to appreciate the fact that it tastes way different than the store. It really and truly does. And you're just doing the right thing. Like really, I mean, it's good fish, man. I'm telling you. It's
Yeah,
good
we're
fish.
close. We're close. Rachel's out of the house a few days a week now, so it won't be long before we can do that. Every now and then, I'm starting to sneak fish into the house now. So I mean,
Well, the
she
lingcod
doesn't
is
say
so
anything, but I know it bothers her, right? Like the smell. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, what do you do?
Awesome.
Awesome.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.